Okay, here are the module 14.1 notes. This is page 9. So we want to just kind of drive home the difference between our point estimate and our interval estimate. The point estimate is the sample statistic that we've collected. You can think of it as the best guess. I don't like using the word guess here, but for our population parameter. The interval estimate is the range of values where we believe the population parameter lies. And that is at a certain confidence level, and we will talk about that shortly. So example 6, we want to identify the point estimate and the interval estimate. We want to make sure we've got proper notation and units where they apply. So A, we have got the average age of a third grader in Colorado is 8 years old with a margin of error of 1 year. If we are talking about an average age, that is a mean. So our mean is 8 years old. Okay. Our confidence interval is going to be that 8 plus or minus our 1, our margin of error. Again, that is an 8 minus 1 to 8 plus 1 interval. So we go from 7 to 9. B, we have the proportion of FRCC students who take at least one online class. That falls between 0.55 and 0.65. So here we are given the confidence interval. Remember that our sample proportion is p hat. That is going to be the average of my endpoints. And I get a sample proportion of 0.6. C, Zach conducted a survey and found that 4 out of 10 students attended a supplemental instruction session that week. His margin of error was 15%. So 4 out of 10, again, we have a population proportion. We have a margin of error of 15%. So to our 0.4, we are going to add and subtract that 0.15. 0.4 minus 0.15 gives me a lower bound of 0.25. And 0.4 plus 0.15 gives me an upper bound of 0.55. D, we are 95% confident, and that's going to make a little more sense in the next couple of pages, that the mean number of hours of sleep FRCC students receive per night is between 4.5 and 8.5 hours. So we are starting with our confidence interval, 4.5 to 8.5. Our sample mean then is 6.5 hours. Now notice on my sample means I have got units, hours, years, not on the proportion. That's telling me the part of the population. So we know it is 40% of the students who attended the supplemental instruction session, but it doesn't make sense to say 0.4 students. So E, Monica conducted a survey and found that 52% plus or minus 3% of FRCC students regularly sing in the shower. Here we have got a sample proportion, 52%. To find our confidence interval, we are using that 0.3 margin of error. So my lower bound, the number below everything, is 0.49. My upper bound is 0.55. F, we've got the average number of credits per semester FRCC students take is 11 plus or minus 3. So we've got an average number of credits. X bar is 11 credits. 11 plus or minus 3. 11 minus 3 is 8. 11 plus 3 is 14. And the mean number of miles that students drive to campus is 15 with a margin of error of 6. So our average is 15 miles. With a margin of error of 6, 15 minus 6 gives me 9. 15 plus 6 gives me 21. The two main point estimates that we will focus on, same with what we've looked at before, proportions, which we're going to do first, which you'll see in section 14.2.